Our story begins with Elijah, a prophet who had just witnessed God's power on Mount Carmel. He stood alone against 450 prophets of Baal, challenging them to call down fire from their God. They cried out, danced, and cut themselves. Nothing happened. Elijah prayed, and fire fell from heaven, consuming everything. It was a stunning victory. But news of this reached Queen Jezebel, a fierce worshipper of Baal. Enraged, she vowed to kill Elijah within a day. The fearless prophet who had faced hundreds now fled in terror from one woman's threat. Elijah ran into the wilderness, leaving his servant behind. Alone and exhausted, he collapsed under a broom tree, overwhelmed by fear and despair. He prayed not for rescue, but for death. "I have had enough, Lord, take my life." The triumphant prophet was now broken, wishing for his journey to end. Even the strongest can be brought low by fear and isolation. Elijah's story reminds us that moments of triumph can quickly turn to terror. In the wilderness he reached his lowest point, but this was not the end of his story. Sometimes our greatest struggles come right after our greatest victories. As Elijah slept under the broom tree, an angel touched him. "Get up and eat," the angel said, offering bread and water. God's response wasn't a lecture, but simple care for Elijah's needs. Elijah ate and drank, then lay down again, still weary. The angel returned a second time. "Get up and eat, for the journey is too much for you." Strengthened by this meal, Elijah found the energy to continue. The food sustained him for 40 days and nights as he traveled through the wilderness, his destination Horeb, the mountain of God. This was the same place where Moses encountered God. Elijah was being led back to the source to seek the God he felt had abandoned him. In his lowest moment, God met Elijah with compassion, not condemnation. Sometimes what we need most is simple care and a reminder that we are not alone. Elijah's journey was far from over. The wilderness became a place of renewal. After 40 days, Elijah arrived at Mount Horeb and found a cave to rest. God's voice came, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Elijah poured out his frustration. "I've served you zealously, but I'm alone. They're trying to kill me." God replied, "Go out and stand on the mountain, for I am about to pass by." Elijah waited, expecting a display of power. A mighty wind tore the mountains, but God was not in the wind. An earthquake shook the ground, but God was not in the earthquake. A fire raged, but God was not in the fire. Elijah expected God in the spectacular, but God was absent from the chaos. Sometimes we look for answers in the dramatic, but God's presence is found elsewhere. After the wind, earthquake, and fire, a gentle whisper came. In the stillness, Elijah recognized God's true presence. He covered his face and stood at the cave's entrance, awed and humbled. God asked again, "What are you doing here, Elijah?" Elijah repeated his complaint, still feeling alone and defeated. But God didn't rebuke him. Instead, God gave Elijah new instructions and a renewed purpose. The gentle whisper showed that God's power is found in quietness, not force. Elijah's pain wasn't erased, but he was given a way forward. Sometimes the answers we seek come in moments of quiet, not in storms. God meets us in our vulnerability, not just our strength. God's response was purpose, not punishment. Elijah was told to anoint new kings and a successor, Elisha. He was reminded he was not alone. 7,000 in Israel remained faithful. Elijah's mission would continue through others. His journey echoed forward to Jesus, 40 days in the wilderness, angelic care and gentle strength. God's power is revealed in compassion and quietness, not just in miracles. The story of Elijah's despair and restoration points to a greater hope. God's plans are bigger than our fears. Even in our lowest moments, we are never truly alone. Elijah's story is a promise. Hope endures, and God still speaks in the silence. Are you ready to continue? Just click here and come along with me to the next chapter.